What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with 5 reasons to buy the Motorola Moto G Power 5G 2023. So stay tuned to see my top 7 features about this phone. Now, there's a lot of things to like about the Motorola Moto G Power 5G 2023. But coming in at number 1 is that this phone has a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, that might not seem like a huge benefit. However, at this point in 2023, you actually can't find that many smartphones that even have a headphone jack anymore. Now, Apple was the first company to get rid of the headphone jack on a smartphone, starting off with the iPhone 7. And I remember some of their rivals, such as Samsung, for example, were kind of poking fun at that, but then several years later, they started removing that feature from their higher-end phones. Well, fast forward to now, and we're seeing that with even less and less phones every year, but thankfully, with the Moto G Power 5G 2023, we do still have a headphone jack. Now, I understand that many people have moved on to Bluetooth headphones, including myself. However, it is still nice to at least have that option to plug in traditional wired headphones. And it's not like having this feature takes anything away from the actual phone itself, so overall, I see no downsides with having it, and it's only a good thing. Now, coming in at number 2, I'm a big fan of the display that we're getting here with the Moto G Power 5G 2023. Now, this display is very large at 6.5 inches. It's an IPS LCD display, but one of the best things about it is that it actually features a 120Hz refresh rate. So a faster, smoother refresh rate compared to what you typically find from phones in this segment. So for a long time, with any smartphone, and especially the lower end phones, we only got 60 Hz as the refresh rate. So that still worked fine, but things certainly didn't look quite as smooth. Then we started to get faster refresh rates with more expensive smartphones, but now we're starting to see it more and more with lower end devices, with the G Power 5G being one of them. So that's a nice premium touch. But beyond that, I like how bright the display gets. It's very vibrant and has excellent colors, also pretty good viewing angles too, considering that this is a lower end device. Now, to make things even better, this display is 1080p, so everything's very crisp and clear. We're getting a PPI of 405, a 20:9 aspect ratio, so a more narrow but taller form factor with the display here, and we're getting an 83.6% screen to body ratio. So pretty small bezels all throughout. However, the bottom bezel is a little bit on the thicker side compared to the others. But all in all, this phone has an excellent looking display, and it really makes this phone ideal for content consumption, whether that's scrolling through a social media page or watching a full-length video. Overall, this display is excellent for that purpose, and the fact that it is very large at 6.5 inches makes that experience even better. Now, another thing that I really like about the Moto G Power 5G 2023 is the fingerprint sensor that we're getting here with the phone. Now, the fingerprint sensor is located on the power button, and what I especially appreciate about it is that it's very fast and responsive. So you can see very quickly there, it recognizes my fingerprint and takes me into the phone, so that works really well. So you can see how reliable it is, just as I tried it several times in a row there. So overall, I really like the fingerprint sensor that we're getting because it works really well, and also the fact that it is very convenient with its placement. I think having it on the power button is really one of the best placements out there. I know with other devices, it can be on the back of the phone or built into the display itself, which those do work well in that implementation, but also having it be on the power button makes a lot of sense as well, because you have to tap on that button anyway to turn on the display. So it only makes sense that the fingerprint sensor would be in the same area. Now, coming in number 4, and this is kind of similar to the topic of the display being good, but I'm really glad that we have a hole punch for the front-facing camera. Now, for a long time, we would get notches on phones, and before that, of course, we just had thicker bezels all throughout, but I definitely think the hole punch is better than having a notch. It really doesn't get in the way at all, and other than having the camera be a pop-up camera or having it be actually built in under the display, this is really the next best thing. And the fact that this is a lower-end smartphone and we're still getting a very small hole punch here for the front camera makes that even more impressive. I definitely wish that Apple would switch to just a small hole punch for the front camera similar to this with the iPhone, but even with the dynamic island, you're still getting a lot of space taken up on the display by the front camera. So unlike that, we're getting a really good implementation of this here with the Moto G Power 5G 2023. And even beyond that, we're getting really nice results with the front-facing camera. So overall, this is an excellent phone for taking photos or videos for that matter with the front and rear cameras as well. So definitely really nice design that we're getting here with the G-Power 5G. Now moving on, the next thing I want to highlight about this phone is the 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery that we're getting with it. So definitely expect with the Moto G-Power 5G 2023 to get really great battery life. So this phone will easily get you through a day, if not multiple days of usage, which is really good. There's definitely nothing more frustrating than having your phone's battery run out on you, especially when you need it the most. And if for some reason the battery isn't adequate for a certain period of time, maybe you're really using your phone throughout the day, there's also battery saver mode here too that does work really well. But for most people, I'd imagine that you're gonna have more than enough battery capacity with this device, which is definitely very helpful. And also beyond that, I like that this phone is compatible with up to 15-watt fast charging. Now, unfortunately, the charger included in the box is limited at 10 watts, but that's still an improvement over 5 watts that you typically get with lower end phones as far as the charger included. But basically, being able to recharge the phone at 15 watts is especially good considering that we are getting such a large battery in the device itself. Because it's one thing to have a large battery, but if the phone can only recharge at a slow pace, it can get pretty annoying waiting for it to recharge throughout the day. So combining the large battery with fast charging makes this phone ideal for people who need the best battery possible. Now the next thing I want to point out about the Moto G-Power 5G 2023 is the processor that we're getting here with the phone. Now overall, I've gotten really nice results with the processor combined with 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now the processor in this phone is the MediaTek Dimensity 930 processor. Now there's two benefits with that. The first benefit is this processor runs really smoothly and I've had a great experience of using the phone. It's plenty fast for the majority of people out there, and especially if you're someone who, wants to use your phone for phone calls, text messages, watching video content, going on social media, browsing the web. All those things will be great on here. It's really just the most high demanding tasks such as video editing or high performance gaming where you might find some slowdowns with that processor, but overall, I feel like this is a relatively fast phone for what it is. I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 6, and here are the scores that I got from that test. Essentially, I got a single core score of 902 and a multi-core score of 2261. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your results to these results to see how this phone compares to what you currently have. Because who knows, this phone could be slower than the phone that you have right now. And then the second benefit of the processor that we're getting here with the phone is that we are getting 5G compatibility, hence the name of the device itself. Now at this point in 2023, I do think that you can get by without 5G in a smartphone. However, if you're gonna go through all the time and effort of getting a brand new phone, you may as well get one that does support your carrier's latest and greatest network. And thankfully, with the Moto G-Power 5G 2023, that is possible. And then for the final thing I want to point out for my reasons to buy the Moto G-Power 5G 2023, and that is the software that we're getting here. Now, I've always been a fan of Motorola software. They're not necessarily the best out there when it comes to giving you timely updates or a lot of major updates, but at least they get the software really good right from the beginning, and that's certainly the case here with this device. So what I like about it is they take stock Android and they really only add in extra features to make it even better. They don't change things just for the sake of changing them, and also their software is very free of bugs. So very reliable, well-working software here with bonus features packed in from Motorola. Now, if you want to get a closer look at all those various features that are available for this device, I have created a dedicated tips and tricks video for this phone, so definitely take a look at that video here on the channel. But overall, I'm really happy with the software that we're getting with the Moto G-Power 5G 2023. But this concludes my video on reasons to buy this phone. I hope you found this video to be helpful and informative, and hopefully you learned something new today. But this is Kevin here, coming at you with my top reasons to buy the Moto G-Power 5G 2023, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.